right, so welcome everyone to today's lesson. And today we're going to talk about chord formulas. So I have a video on the Guitar Theory 101 playlist that is called How Chords Are Made. You may have seen that if you're watching this video. And that one explains how chords are made from scales, from the major scale, how the notes are taken out of the scale. And I have that right here. This is the C major scale. And we're going to use that as the basis for this to demonstrate. But I just wanted to introduce you to the rest of the chord formulas, just so you're familiar. And there will be a lot in this. Remember, you don't have to memorize them. You can always come back to this. Plus, you can memorize the movable forms, of the chords. You don't have to know all of the notes in the chords, but it can be helpful for playing solos over the chords and things like this. So I just want to give you this as an overview to help you understand how many different chords there are and what the different chord formulas are that make up the chords. And it's good to just have a knowledge of it, an overview, so you have some understanding. So let's get right into it. We'll start with the major chord. The formula for the major chord is 1, 3, 5. And as we talked about in the how chords are made class, all of these numbers refer to the major scale of whatever key you're playing in. So in this case, C, we're going to use C major scale. The first note is C, the third note is E, and the fifth note is G. So C, E, and G. So major chord, pretty straightforward, 1, 3, 5, C, E, and G in this case. And the beauty of knowing these is that you can also make triads, they call them, which are three notes. But if you're doing a chord, which is the three notes repeated more than one time, then you can create these triads or chords in different places on the guitar. If you know the notes on the fretboard, which I also have a video on that, how to memorize those. But then if you know these well, you can play around with the different ways that the chords sound in different positions, other than those bar chords or movable positions, which most of us are familiar with. And next we have the minor chord formula. So the only difference between major and minor is the third is flatted. So it's 1, flat 3, 5. 1, 5, and the 3 is an E, so it's an E flat going down half a step or one fret. So C, E flat, and G. So only difference between a major chord and a minor chord is that the third is flatted. And that does give it a very different sound, right? So the major and minor chords are the most common chords, but also the most common three-note chords, right? So there are other chords with three notes, but those are the most common, the major and minor. Now let's look at some four-note chord formulas. So the major sixth and the major seventh. Both of these have four notes in the chord. Again, it can be more than four notes because they can be repeated when you're playing them. So the major sixth is like a major in the beginning, right? Major chord with the sixth added. So it's 1, 3, 5 as before. 1, 3, 5 plus the six. So C, E, G, and A. And again, these numbers can apply to any major scale. So if you use A major, the letters would be different, but the numbers would be the same in the scale. And with the major seventh, same thing. It's like you can kind of look at it as major chord plus the sixth, or major chord plus the seventh, if that makes sense or helps you remember it. So it's 1, 3, 5, and the 7. So C, E, G, and B. And same thing with the other four note chords, which are the minor sixth and minor seventh. It's going to be like a minor chord plus the sixth. Now that applies to the minor sixth. The minor seventh has a flat on the seven, a flatted seventh. So the minor sixth is going to be 1, flat 3, which is the E flat we said, and 5, which is G, plus the sixth, the A, as you can see here. And the minor seventh will be like a minor chord, but instead of plus the seventh, it's plus the minor seventh, which would be flatted seventh, right? So it's 1, flat 3, the E flat, and the 5, the G, and then we have a B flat. So the seventh flatted, or the minor seventh, which is down a half step. So B flat. Now, just keep in mind the most common chords are the major and minor chords, obviously. And then A lot of these other chords are used in a lot of songs, especially like blues, but some of these chords, once you get to like the six note chords and things like that, like the 13ths and 11ths, those are used more like in jazz and that kind of music. They're not as common because they have a very distinct sound. And pop music like usually doesn't use that kind of stuff. So it's usually a lot more major and minor, and like blues uses the sevenths a lot. So there's certain types of music that use certain types of chords more or less, but these chords getting larger now are just less common in general, unless you're talking about very specific types of music like jazz. Jazz is one of them. So these are all five note chords now. Five note chords are the major ninth. So again, it's major is kind of like saying the major chord in the beginning. So the left part of it is just like the major chord, right? The 1 3 5, which is the major chord, and same with the minor, 1 flat 3 5. This is the major chord. This is the minor chord. So major chord and minor chord. Then plus the major ninth is plus seventh and ninth. So the seventh is here, and the ninth is if you keep counting past the seven, right? So if you keep counting past the seven and you go to the next C would be eight, and this D here would be nine. Okay. So the reason it's nine is because it's up an octave. So after this, it goes to the next octave, which is the next, an octave is 1 through 7. So C to C, those eight notes. So when you go to the next C and start again, that's the next octave. So it's implying that the nine is in the next octave up. Okay. And this doesn't necessarily have to be the case when you're playing the chord, though. You can add the D in different ways to do it, and it would still be a C. And with the minor ninth, it's going to be again the flatted seven. So the seven is flat in the minor. It's a minor seven. So -1 fret, and it's going to be a B flat. So here, B flat and D, which is the two, but here we call it the nine. And here, same thing. So I know I thought the same thing when I first started. I was like, why don't they just call it a two, right? So why don't they just say 1 2 3 5 7? So in case you're thinking that, I understand where you're coming from. But I also think it's important to remember that music, you know, didn't really originate on the guitar probably. Like a lot of music is based around piano. A lot of stuff has different reasons, and you can see things a lot more clearly. Like for example, octaves. You can see that much more clearly on piano. So if you say like 1 3 5 7 9, that's quite clear on piano that this is in the one octave. You're playing 1 3 5 7 in the one octave, and then the nine is going to be past that octave on the next set of C through C. So on the piano, it would be a little more clear and it would look different. So just to give you an idea, we're not always referencing from the guitar here. It can be based in different instruments, right? That this stuff comes from. And now let's go crazy. We got six note chords. So again, same formula as before. So it's just kind of like a continuing to expand if you think of it that way. So we again have same beginning, right? It's going to be major 13th would be the major chord, 1 3 5. The minor 11th and the minor 13th. Minor 13th is same thing. I didn't write all the notes out here, but it would just be exactly the same as the minor 11th, but just with a 13 instead of 11. Okay. So this is the beginning. This is the minor chord. And then in the major, we have the 7, the 9, and the 13. So again, the 13 is going to be, if we count from the B, if it was continuing here. So we were saying if there was a C, D, like this, right? Continuing up this way, we would say this is 8, this is 9. If you count from here, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So I understand the reasoning that we would say, like, why would they just not call it a sixth, right? Why would it not just say 1 3 5 6 7 9? That would make more sense. And yeah, it would make more sense thinking from our perspective of looking at it on paper like this. But maybe when you're looking at certain instruments, it doesn't. It makes more sense to say 13. So that's all it means, is that you just continue counting. You start from the beginning again. So C is always 8 when you come back to the beginning, and you just keep counting up, and that's where you find the note. Okay. So this is going to be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 13. And of course, these are going to be bar chords, right? Because we only have four fingers, so you'd have to you have to find a way to bar these things. And these chords are very, very difficult to play, I think. I mean, they're much more common in jazz, and those kind of, if you ever see the way they play, the fingers can be very spread out and very all over the place, and that's how it is to bar these chords, to make these chords on the guitar. It's a quite difficult style, I think. And minor 11th, same thing, beginning is the minor, and then we have the flat 7 because it's the flatted 7, minor 7, and then 9, and then 11 is going to be, we said that D was the ninth, right? So 8, 9, 10, 11. So the F. So it's going to be, instead of 1 flat 3 4 5 7, a flat 7 9, we have 1 flat 3 5 flat 7 9 11. Okay. And same thing with the minor 13th. This 11 would just be a 13. That's the only difference. You're probably not going to use these a lot unless you're playing jazz or something like that. But I just wanted to give you an introduction, show you what's out there, right? And with that same idea, I wanted to share with you all of these. These are actually a little more common in my experience. I use these chords actually when I'm playing more than I would probably use like an 11 or a 13. But the diminished chord, so diminished means bringing it down by a half a step, right? So the regular diminished chord is 1 flat 3 5 flat 5, and then diminished seventh is referring to the 7. So it's already a diminished chord, the same thing as above here, which is 1 flat 3 5, right? Same thing. And then the flat 7. So again, music terminology, it's just common, it's the way they do it. It again doesn't always make sense to us, but it says flat flat 7. So it's just down a whole step. So it would pretty much be the sixth, right? It would be down a whole step. So it would actually be the sixth of the scale, the major scale. But we say diminished seventh, so it diminishes the seventh by a half a step, and it's already a flatted 7. So it's 1 flat 3 flat 5 and flat flat 7, double flat 7, so a sixth pretty much, but we'll say flat double flat 7. Half diminished is a 1 flat 3 flat 5 flat 7. So half diminished because it's not brought down a whole step, right? Here we have two flats, here we just have the one. Augmented chord is 1 3, like a major chord, but a sharped 5. So augmented refers to the sharp 5. So 1 3 sharp 5 and 1 3 sharp 5 flat 7. So augmented seventh chord. And yeah, this doesn't always make sense. Like, you can't use the terminology to distinguish certain notes, especially because of the flat 7, right? Sometimes if you see in the minor chords, like the 7 is flatted, right? But also the 3 is flatted. But in the major chord, the seven is whole and the 3 are whole. And last one here, we have dominant seventh. And this I use a lot because it's more like a bluesy chord, right? So you use the dominant seventh. Dominant ninth also is a nice sounding chord. So it's the dominant seventh is the major chord with the flat 7 that would be in the minor chord, right? So it's like a minor seventh chord without the flat 3. So with a regular 3, a major 3. So usually when a note that when you say major, like third, major 3, it's usually referring to as in the major scale. So the 3 would just be regular, right? When I say major 3, it's what we're talking about. This dominant ninth is the same thing. It's just the dominant seventh chord plus the 9. Dominant 11th is minus the 3. So this is why, yeah, you can't always tell what notes. You have to kind of memorize what notes are in the chord. You can't tell just from the name because it can change a little bit sometimes. So the dominant 11th is 1 5 flat 7 9 11. So like a dominant ninth plus the 11 minus the 3. And then these are pretty common, the suspended chords. So these are used in a lot of songs, the second and fourth, because they have a very unique sound. So the suspended second is just 1 2 5. So it's like a power chord with the 2 added. And same thing with the 4. They're like major chords without the 3, and then you just replace the 3 with the 2 or a 4. Okay. So sus 2 1 1 2 5, sus 4 1 4 5, and add 9 is a major chord adding the 9, pretty much, right? So 1 3 5 9. And that's it, guys. I just wanted to give you a brief, quick overview just to show you what's out there, in case you sometimes you get stuck in, using the same chords over and over again, or you just learn major and minor chords, and to show you that there's a lot more out there. If your songwriting ever gets boring, you can always experiment with some of these different types of chords and see how it works for you, see what you come up with. You might be surprised sometimes. So just to widen your horizons a bit and give us some more ideas for creativity. If you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more about, I do have videos on how to play almost all of these chords. I think except the 11ths and the 13ths. I think I have a video on how to play movable positions or open positions for all of these chords pretty much. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out on the playlists. I believe it's under beginner guitar lessons, and there's one on every type of chord. So that's it for today, guys. And if you have any questions, always let me know. Or if you have anything you'd like to see on the channel, let me know. And until next time, take care. Have a lovely day.